Hi, everybody. Welcome into your A Slice a Day weekly podcast. I'm your host, Mark Tennant. This is the weekly podcast where plastic surgery practices learn how to succeed at digital marketing while figuring out the various platforms and tools to make that all happen. Not only do we tell you how, we'll also show you how with an accompanying video and audio content on our website at marktennant.net. It is a special podcast this week. I've asked someone to come on who I've read and admired her work for years because she cranks out great content. She's crazy knowledgeable about digital marketing, and she just flat out knows her stuff. I'm talking about Jenn Herman, Instagram expert, and today we'll be talking about another piece of the Instagram ecosystem, if you will, Instagram TV or IGTV. So let's get to it with our interview with Jenn Herman. Well, today on the podcast, it's been one I've been waiting for a while. We have Jenn Herman with us today. Jenn is an Instagram expert. She's got an ebook that has just been blowing people away for a few years now, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Instagram. Other than being an Instagram expert, she's a blogger, she's a consultant, she's a worldwide speaker, she's a straight-talking, Instagram-loving, high-heel-wearing mommy to a mini fashionita. Jenn, thanks for coming on. Did I get that right?
You did. That pretty much sums it all up in one short paragraph.
You know, I have to ask real quick, and I don't want to bore the listeners too much, but what's a mini fashionita?
So my daughter is very opinionated already at 3.5 years old about what she will wear.
Okay.
So it is full blown, like she's got her style and what she will and will not wear. So she is definitely a little fashionista in the making.
Okay, well, that's my granddaughter, Ella. Okay, cool. Hey, listen, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick, and we kind of talked about it in the pre-dealio, but social media marketing world. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's in San Diego. I've been wanting to go for years. I'm going. You've been a speaker for a number of years. You've been on social media talk show with Eric Fisher, and you're so locked into this thing. So for plastic surgery and cosmetic practices, why should the physician send his staff to social media marketing world?
I mean, there's a million reasons why. It's social media marketing world is quite possibly the single best social media conference. And I go to a lot of conferences, but it is one of the largest conferences in terms of the amount of information you can get. And there's no way you can possibly attend every session, but as an attendee, you do get the virtual ticket so you can go back and listen to the other sessions that you miss. But there's I think 120 speakers over 3 days. So any topic you could possibly imagine is going to be covered at the conference. But beyond that, it's really about the networking and community building. There's probably a lot of people in the, whether it's cosmetic surgery, whether it's in the medical field, even dentistry and things like that. There's a lot of people in that space that go to this conference, and you can actually network with them and figure out how they're overcoming certain challenges. I mean, there's so many restrictions for such a regulated industry in terms of what you can and can't do on social media, and being able to talk about that with other people who actually deal with it every day and understand it is something that is worth more than its weight in gold. I mean, that's something that you're not going to get from any online class or any individual speaker, because that's actually working and talking to the other people in that industry that deal with the same thing every day. And it's 3 days of that. It's the conference, it's the people, it's the networking, it's the parties. It's just, there's so much that goes into these 3 days.
And it's in lovely San Diego, so I can't wait. All righty. So the reason we brought Jenn on was because we've been talking the last couple of weeks on the podcast and on the flash briefing about video content for plastic and cosmetic surgery practices, because to me and with my clients, it's the best medium that works, bar none. And Jenn wrote an article, actually came out when this was first launched, and we're talking about Instagram TV, IGTV, and the name of the article is What Marketers Need to Know. Jenn wrote this shortly after it launched, but there's been a lot of things that's been happening since then. With IGTV coming on the forefront and after launching last year, and it's new to probably a lot of people listening. First of all, talk about IGTV, what it is. It's a part of Instagram and how it fits into the entire Instagram ecosystem.
So yeah, it's kind of one of these, it's an Instagram thing, but it's kind of not an Instagram thing. It's essentially its own standalone app. So it is a separate video platform, but it's owned by Instagram. It integrates with Instagram. It's essentially some sort of precursor as an attempt to compete with Google. Whether or not it will ever compete with YouTube and those sorts of things, not really sure, probably not likely, but it is meant to be some sort of competitor for that sort of video viewing. So it's exclusively video content. Videos are 2 minutes up to, or sorry, a minimum of 15 seconds up to 60 minutes. So it's meant to be longer form videos. You could have, 1 or 2 minute videos, but there's a lot of long form content built into IGTV, and it's vertical video. So it's not video that's shot in the traditional horizontal, kind of TV, computer monitor type orientation. It's meant to be viewed on a mobile device in that vertical orientation, which is drastically different than what we're currently used to, but is the direction that people are going. We're on our mobile devices. That's how we're watching videos. Yes, you may, turn and rotate the screen, but most people are scrolling and watching and reading and whatnot in a vertical capacity. So the videos for IGTV are exclusively vertical video. They will not rotate if you turn the screen. And the content, like I said, is meant to be some sort of channel-based content where you do have a channel. If you have an Instagram account, you can literally just go to IGTV and create your channel. It will pull in all of your Instagram account information, and you can start uploading videos. And anybody who's following you on Instagram will be following you on IGTV. You can't choose to follow one and not the other. If they follow you on one, they follow you on both. But one of the things that is newer with this whole thing was IGTV was a very standalone app. It was something where you really had to go to IGTV to see those videos. In the last month, Instagram has started integrating previews of IGTV videos into the news feed. So, for example, if I had a new IGTV video and you were following me on Instagram, a 1 minute preview of my video would appear in your newsfeed at some time, which would allow you to watch it, and then you could tap through to watch the full video over on IGTV. And this has done a lot to really ramp up views, engagement, exposure. So for all those people who were like, I don't even know what it is, I don't feel like it's working, I'm not getting any engagement or exposure, we're seeing that big shift now that there is that direct integration into the native Instagram app.
Okay. Well, IGTV itself, I mean, it is a standalone app by itself, but you can get it on your regular Instagram app. Would let everybody know that. Sometimes it's hard to find, but you can see if somebody has an Instagram TV account.
There's a little TV icon up in the top right corner when you're in your feed, which you can click on that and go over and see the videos of anybody you follow. It will also recommend videos for you based on the people you interact with, or the other accounts that you follow and that sort of thing. So you can view it even without opening or having a standalone app. But if you want to upload videos, you would need to download the separate IGTV app.
Speaking of uploading and so forth, you can upload video though from a desktop or a laptop into IGTV, which is certainly native to that, right?
Yeah, and the one big complaint that most people have about Instagram is that it is very it's mobile based, right? There isn't a lot of actual desktop application. There's not a lot of desktop incorporation. So the fact that IGTV actually has the opportunity to upload directly into the app, it makes life a lot easier. So if you've got long form video and things like that, you can upload that directly through the desktop application. It is worth noting that videos from 15 seconds up to 10 minutes can be uploaded via the mobile device. Any videos over 10 minutes must be uploaded via the desktop because the file size is just way too big over 10 minutes that it's too hard on the mobile devices and the mobile platform. So anything over 10 minutes would have to be uploaded via the desktop only.
Since it came to the forefront, I'm talking about IGTV last June, why now? Are people just looking for other channels because maybe the story side is getting a little crowded? And why do you think now IGTV is starting to kind of gain some momentum?
Well, stories are a very unique type of content. They're I mean, it's very a la Snapchat type, and it's meant to be short form, 15-second max videos. It's very short form content. And for people like me who are incapable of saying anything in 15 seconds and need a minimum of about 2 to 3 minutes to get a thought out, I prefer a platform like IGTV where I can just talk and have a video and not have it cut and cropped and not have to have it be a series of 15-second videos. So, I mean, stories have their place, but for that longer form content, for that kind of educational content, for the really well branded communications where you need more than, a couple of 15-second videos, you need that longer form video. And IGTV is essentially that next iteration where it is that longer form video format.
What are the demographics for maybe something like IGTV? Has it changed from the normal people that are on Instagram? Are the people that are watching IGTV? Have you noticed? Is there any information now that tells us that there's a certain demographic that watches that, or is it kind of just all new where it's kind of we're just still finding out what's going on?
Yeah, it's still in that new phase where there aren't any solid details and stats that have been provided by Instagram that are heavily reliable in terms of those demographics. In general, from basic understanding and behaviors and the few pieces of research and data that have been provided, IGTV is definitely skewing to a younger audience, more of the, let's say, 25 and under audience, whereas Instagram in general is probably in that, kind of 18 to 35 demographic as the major bulk of the audience. But even that being said, with Instagram having over 1 billion monthly active users, there's plenty of people in the over 35 demographics that are using the platform as well. So it's not something where it's just a certain demographic or just millennials or whatever you want to label them. It's a very broad base, across Instagram, but stories and IGTV tend to skew a little bit on the younger side.
I watched a Social Media Examiner video from last November where you were on the weekly talk show with Eric Fisher and Kim, and you were talking about some of the things that had happened then as far as being able to share Instagram TV into your stories and so forth. Talk about that part and how Instagram TV can work with the feed and stories. You mentioned the feed a second ago, but also how it can work with stories.
So they're always trying new things. Again, they launched IGTV to all this fanfare. And like most things, it had this massive peak of everybody, trying it out and then being like, nah, not really going to keep using it. And you see that like immediate kind of crash in engagement, which stories had at the beginning as well. You get that initial surge and then you kind of get the drop off. So, but IGTV had a bit of a stronger drop off and had a harder time retaining users. So they tried out a variety of things. One of the things they had tried out was where when you uploaded IGTV videos, you could actually send a screenshot, essentially, a singular image from the IGTV video, and you could upload that to your Instagram stories, and then that would have an automatic hyperlink to the IGTV video so that you could turn around and say, hey, go watch the video, and you could tap through and see it. So I think they have taken that feature away now that they're doing the in the feed 1 minute previews, but you can still do Instagram stories and add a link. Most people have the function, not everybody. But regardless of your follower count, if you go to Instagram stories and you go, there should be a little link, like a little chain link icon. And if you click on that, it would actually allow you to put in an IGTV video link so that you could actually have a series of stories that promotes your latest IGTV video. And then you would be able to link to that video directly. So you could use stories to drive traffic that way as well.
Well, I did see, and actually when I was listening to that earlier today, I kind of went on my phone, and there actually still is a way to send an IGTV over to your stories. But I will put that in the show notes. It's kind of a
Yeah.
convoluted way, and I think it's different than what it was last November because
Yes.
things change so fast. But I'm glad to that because practices that are already using stories and already using the feed, this is great for them because they can say, well, gosh, it might as well be another platform, right? If I really can't integrate anything, who cares if this is the same followers and so forth? But with that functionality, it is so cool to be able to integrate what you have in IGTV into your feed and into stories. Now,
Yes.
with the long form video, Jen, would this be a good place to build an audience for like a niche? And I mean, we're talking plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery, which certainly
Mhm.
is a niche within
Yep.
the medical field. But would this generally just be a great place to build an audience with a certain niche?
Absolutely. It's because it's such a I don't want to say juvenile, but it's a very immature platform in terms of social media. IGTV is less than a year old. It still has a lot of growing to do. And the way it's currently built is everything is a singular channel, meaning every video plays through. So they watch one video, it auto plays into the next, auto plays into the next, auto plays into the next, but you can't distinguish your channel. So you can't say, here are a set of videos that are, how to find the best plastic surgeon. And then you can't have another series that has, behind the scenes at our office. Like everything is one channel. You can't segment that channel. And so what happens is if someone comes and finds one of your IGTV videos and they rotate automatically through it and auto plays the next video, if it's not conducive to the first one they liked, then they're going to leave and probably never come back. So you really want your IGTV channel to be very, synchronous with each video on that channel, which lends itself to a highly niched environment where you really pick a very specific purpose for that channel. Whether it's to say this is going to be purely entertainment, this is going to be purely educational, this is going to be, purely a very segmented aspect of our business, or is it going to be a larger aspect, and how are we going to cover that? But you really do need to think about how all those videos play together and how they remain consistent and appealing to your audience so that if they find one, they will like all of them. And yeah, that's super valuable if you're trying to niche down into something really specific.
Well, the one thing I did wonder about, and you did speak about it again late last year when you were on the Social Media Examiner talk show, was the paid side of things. And since Facebook owns Instagram and so forth, is there a paid side to IGTV specifically? Have you heard, or is there anything going to be around that? Or if not, how could people use that Facebook ad platform, Instagram ad platform, maybe to drive traffic or people to their IGTV channel?
And yeah, so right now, because it is still a newer platform, there is no, ad integration at this time. It is inevitable, it's going to happen. We will see those ad placements without question. Whether they happen in 6 months or a year, 2 years, we don't know. I would assume sooner than later. Facebook's sole mission in life, regardless of what they tell you at this point, is to make money. And they're always looking for places to put an ad spend. And so IGTV is an inevitable option. How that will look, how they will be formatted, we don't really know at this point. But you could always have an IGTV video, which then has its own unique URL, and you could absolutely run Facebook and or Instagram ads to that IGTV link. So if you're creating that type of quality content that you want to get out there, you could run Instagram story ads, which are vertical run format anyways. It matches up with a vertical type video from IGTV. So you could run those stories and then have a link to the IGTV video. So there's a lot of ways that you could still use that platform to, drive that traffic. And one of the great things about IGTV is you can put any call to action you want in those videos. So you can use that as part of your sales funnel, part of, your lead gen tactics, whatever it is you're doing. And anybody who's using IGTV, all users have the access to put a link in the caption of their IGTV videos. So unlike Instagram, where you only have one link on the bio, on IGTV, any user of any size can put a link to anything in the caption of that IGTV video. So if you're running ads to that video, it has a call to action that says, open up the description of this video and click on the link to whatever that call to action is. there's a great way you can drive traffic that way. But your initial ad spend wasn't a conversion type ad. It was, a link click ad, which may keep your costs down on running the ads. So there's lots of ways you can get creative with that.
That's awesome. But in your opinion, is it worth a channel pursuing for a cosmetic or plastic surgery practice or any business?
The reality is, if you can see value in it, then yes. And I know that's the most generic, irresponsible answer I can give somebody. But the reality is IGTV is going to grow. It is going to continue to gain momentum. Instagram is finding ways to integrate. I've been saying since day one they needed better integration. And now with the previews in the feed, they're getting that integration. People are getting more views. Eventually it will gain more momentum. So it's one of those things, the sooner you start and build that audience and build that foundation and get that interaction type with your audience, the better off you're going to be when 6 months from now, a year from now, everyone else is like, oh, I should figure out this whole IGTV thing. You will have already figured out, you already know the tricks, you already have an audience, and you won't be in the kind of competitive space that people starting later in the game are. So it's absolutely valuable if you can see that value in it for you. But that being said, if it's going to stress you out, if it's going to overwhelm you and or your team to go on another whole, content creation strategy of having to create all new videos in vertical format and have all this, strategy, if that's not something that's manageable for you right now, don't stress out about going all in on IGTV. In that case, I would say try to do one video a month. Do that, 2-3 minute video once a month. That's not a huge commitment, but it's enough to start building that foundation of your channel and building up that, expectation of content with your audience, that when you get to the point where you feel comfortable and you can add in more content strategy, you'll be ready to do so.
The article is called IGTV, What Marketers Need to Know. It was published over at socialmediaexaminer.com and, of course, over at jenstrends.com. Jenn, where can people find Jenn Herman?
I'm pretty much everywhere as Jenn's Trends. It's Jenn with 2 N's. So JENNS trends.com. I'm on Instagram as JENNS_trends. Same thing on Twitter. I have a Facebook group called Jenn's Trends and Social Media, which is where I post all breaking Instagram news. Yes, I post it to a Facebook group before I post it on Instagram, because that way I can crowdsource all the information. And then when I post it on Instagram, we actually know what's going on in the world. So come hang out with me. Tell me you heard me here on the podcast. I'd love to say hi.
Jenn, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. We'll see you in a couple of weeks out in San Diego. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Wasn't that great stuff? Boy, I'll tell you what, just love hearing from Jenn Herman, and thanks so much to her for coming on to talk about Instagram TV. If you think today's podcast is helpful and something your peers might value, well, would you please consider leaving a review on iTunes, good or bad, thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll have a link in our show notes, because your feedback is invaluable to me and it would mean the world, so we can continue to bring you the best possible podcast that we can while delivering value for you and your practice. So until next Sunday, have a great week.